The belief system of society, evolved over time to a very wasteful society where waste has become normal. It almost seems like the more waste you have, the more successful you are. Because that means that's the more stuff you have. And so, we're suffering a massive ecological collapse. And, we're in a climate crisis. So at this point, we have to do everything in our power to try to stop that from continuing.
All over the world, we have an overabundance of plastic. Like everything has plastic in it. So getting rid of the fossil fuel industry is complicated.
We are literally in catastrophic climate change at the very precipice and beginning of what our elders and climate scientists have been predicting for decades. And it's important for our communities to learn, relearn, and understand, and learn from our elders, learn from the people and knowledge carriers that have this vital information of how we're going to survive.
Like I remember when I was young, we didn't have a garbage can, because everything we had was from the bush, and there was no garbage, because there's nothing in the forest that's garbage. And so now that I'm older, my mind goes back there, and I think, humanity has really lost its way, and I think we need to try to find our way back.
We're nowhere near globally getting rid of fossil fuels, but we can all start to move in that direction. So while solar is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, it is a better alternative to digging up tar sands and contributing to global warming in that way.
When you think about extractive, industries such as oil and gas, it's all happening on Indigenous territory. The idea is that we're not relying on say a grid. We know where the energy is coming from. We have the lowest possible impact that we can have in order to have energy to support our needs. We're not reliant on petroleum companies. We're not reliant on all these things that are happening. So. And I think that is, taking our own destiny into our hands.
When something happens to hydro, I'm scared for those big cities where I have kids out there in the big cities, in the big high-rise apartments, and what if the hydro goes out or whatever? They're stuck up there.
One of the great losses of the whole planet was not so much what we lost, but what the land lost. So there is a systematic removal and erasure of Indigenous people from the land. There is an ecological collapse that happened as a result. So we have to put ourselves back in there and start protecting our lands again, or they're going to keep destroying it.
We have these two competing forces, which are one that's heavily militarized and armed and will defend the damnation and ruin of the planet, and then there's the masses of people that are going, hold on a second, we want our water to be clean, we want our air to be clean, we are thinking about the future generations. Why should Indigenous people only have 0.2% of the entire land base of Canada under their control and jurisdiction? And there should be no reason why Indigenous people cannot control and administer the laws of their nation on their own territories like they had done for tens of thousands of years before Canada became a country.
No more asking for self-determination. Nobody asked to be self-determined. Nobody asked, you don't ask that, you just assert it, right? You do it. And a lot of the vision and missions of these organizations and the people that are working there have been doing amazing work in order to really make this space, now for, Indigenous peoples to take lead.
This is the first time communities are accessing this type of technology, and it wouldn't happen otherwise without the work of our collective organizations that are working towards energy sovereignty and Indigenous sovereignty at the same time, because those two go hand in hand, and that's why Sacred Earth Solar and Indigenous Climate Action wanted to support.
This land is huge. Everybody should be moving out. We don't have to stay in those little reserves. The Shognash put us there. We didn't understand, I guess. I don't know. Our leaders passed. But now we want to go back there. We want to go do things that way. where you don't have to depend on hydro. Depend on the environment.